Hey guys, how you doing? Eric at SoCal Cigars. This is going to be a fast one. I wanted to talk about what could really be a game changer for your cigar smoking is staging your cigars. So let me kind of run down the scenario for you and see if it's something you can identify with. I've got a buddy who I've known since high school. We've known each other over 35 years. He used to live here in Southern California. He now lives in New York. His name is Elia. Totally cool dude. We still talk a lot about cigars. And he was having issues with burning and having to relight. One of his biggest complaints was having to continually relight his cigars. And so we kept talking and talking and talking about it. And at one point, he kind of brought it up like, is there anything you can think that I should do to get this resolved? He goes, because I don't understand. I mean, my temperature's right, my humidity's right, it's all right. And I go, well, maybe you should try staging your cigars. And he was like, well, what's staging your cigar mean? I go, well, a lot of people, what they'll do is they will take their cigar a few days prior to smoking it, and they will take it out of their humidor and I don't know, set it on the counter, set it out in the open, put it in a shoebox, put it in a humidor, like a little desktop you have that's got no humidity in it, and just let it sit for a couple days and get rid of some of the humidity. And here's why. Because the humidity that you store your cigars at may not be the same humidity that makes it the best smoking experience. So for example, we usually follow the 70-70 rule, right? 70% humidity, 70 degrees. Okay. Well, that doesn't mean that smoking a cigar is the best it can be at 70% humidity. A lot of what you would say is like aficionados, they will continually smoke their cigars between like 63 and 65% humidity because they feel it smokes better. So I told him, I said, why don't you try the next time you're going to smoke a cigar on the weekend, maybe a couple days beforehand, take a couple cigars out that you plan to smoke and see how that goes. Well, he did that, and he just messaged me just this past week and said that solved the problem. He goes, I haven't had to relight. My cigars are burning perfect. They're smoking perfectly. It's like night and day difference. So that's what I wanted to basically go over. Well, and I've already almost kind of gone over it. It's really that simple. Anyway, just for the fun of it, I'm going to go upstairs real quick and I'm going to show you all of the steps involved in staging your cigar. So let's go check that out. I'll be back in a second. Okay, we are now going to go through all of the steps involved in staging your cigar. First, open your humidor. Take out the cigar in which you would like to stage for future smoking. Set it down. That completes all of the steps involved in staging your cigar. Okay, and we're back. So, as you can see, there's one step. Pretty simple. Here's the deal. Here's what you need to keep in mind. That there's several humidities you can keep in mind when you're thinking of your cigars. There's your average storing of a cigar, which would be 70-70 rule-ish. Some people will argue that if you're actually going to do long-term aging of your cigars, that could even be at a different humidity, and I'm not even going to get into that right now, because there's a lot of debate on that. You would have to really look at temperatures versus humidities, because as one changes, the other can change, so you'd actually have to follow charts on that. So we won't get into that, but that's one factor as well. But what I really want you to pay attention to is what humidity is the best to smoke your cigars at. Now, if a cigar is too dry, it almost becomes too brittle and it almost burns too hot and too fast. If a cigar's got too much humidity, you're always relighting it. The burn is uneven. You're getting all these wonky spots when you're burning your cigar. Like if you saw my last video, that review I just did on the upsetters, you'll see how wonky it burned. And that was my own fault because I didn't follow my own process. So here's what I recommend you do. Whenever you get cigars, take them out of whatever packaging that they were either shipped to you, or if you were to brick and mortar, take them out of the bag they gave them to you in, put them in your humidor. people can argue that 2 weeks to 2 months. Okay, I would just say minimum 2 weeks in your humidor. Get them, just at your 70, whatever you keep your humidor at is fine. Before you smoke a cigar, if you have the opportunity to do this, because sometimes you don't know, sometimes you just grab one and go because it's a last minute thing. But if you know it's the weekend, or you're going to some shindig, whatever, and you know you're going to bring some cigars, I would highly recommend pulling those out of your humidor a couple days ahead of time and staging them so that they can dry out a little bit and release a little bit of the humidity so that you're getting a clean, even burn. The smoke output's going to be really good, and you're not going to be relighting your cigar over and over, and it's not going to be frustrating. You can actually set your cigar in the ashtray, have a conversation with someone, pick it up 5 minutes later, and it's still lit. Okay, so that's my recommendation. That's really all there is to know about staging a cigar. It's really not complex. I just think it's one of those things, just like my buddy Elia. He just didn't know. He'd never heard of such a thing. So give that a go. Just, if nothing else, test out the theory. Take one cigar, take it out on a Thursday, smoke it on a Saturday, and see what you think. And I think you'll be surprised pleasantly that it burns even, it burns well, it stays lit, you're not going to be relighting, you can set it down, it won't go out, and I think you'll be a little happier with how your cigar smoking experience will go, having staged your cigar ahead of time. Anyway, hopefully this is helpful. I think it can be a game changer for being such a simple thing to do. But again, like I said before, you don't know what you don't know until somebody tells you. So now I'm telling you, stage your cigars. You'll be happy you did. Eric at SoCal Cigars, and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.